Okay, and we're back. So again, we're gonna create a character here. Let Taper get out of the picture, and we're gonna push left twice, or push left once, or right twice rather. We're gonna just use a jet body on this guy, and not care what his weapon is, and not name him. And you guys know the drill by now. Menuing is actually a decently important part, and just to show you what that weapon is. I don't even remember what the weapon is. Parasols, I think. Now Cocoron is going to come down, and he's going to transport us out of where we are. And what we're going to do is we're going to go, and this is where he tells us that the princess is in an egg. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. So we're going to select our same character again. This is where in the speedrun for the world record, you'll see them select that like question mark character, like the smiley face emoji looking thing. And I think that's probably just because of the next level, not the one we're about to come in, but the one after that, because you have to use the same character. But again, it's not really necessary. It doesn't seem like, unless you just there's maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know. I haven't been able to figure that out, but it doesn't seem like it makes a huge difference. So, and this is where we are just going to go ahead and select the pirate ship. Is the easiest way to get to an egg quickly. And this way, we're kind of going to just make a full circle around the whole map. This will complete what we're doing. So, you have some skunks and some armadillos and stuff, but then we're going to go underground here. And don't do what I just did. Gosh, that was awful. And you'll also see the character's feet don't necessarily have hitboxes on the bottoms, because those armadillos and skunks aren't hitting me. So just drop down here, come down here, and boom, now you're at the princess in the egg. Now basically we're going to rescue her, and she's going to tell us that, well, I'll wait till she starts talking, but she's going to tell us that Taper is actually not a good guy. He is a bad guy and wants to eat the dream that we're in while we're in it. So now we get so he captures all of our friends that we've created, so now we have to go rescue them all one by one, and we start back at the house where we started the game at. And here's where we start the series of Taper levels, or the rescue levels, I guess is what I have them as on my splits, where we just go and rescue the characters. So I'm probably going to try to do most of these all in one long shot, just to kind of get through them, because there's not a whole lot to explain. It's just more just platforming, and I'll point out trouble spots along the way. But anyways, so this one, you can actually, if you do it right, which that's not right, you can actually get through this one without ever letting go of the right button. And you're going to see me use that thing where I can let go of A and push it at any time to pause where I am in the air. And actually, I every now and again, you're going to want to adjust your speed. And you see I did a couple turnbacks there, but not a whole lot to it. And now we've rescued the creepy smiley face. And Cocoron's going to come in here. He's going to go whoosh, seizure time. And he's going to say, what next? So we're going to save state here. And I'm going to save state at the beginning of each of these in case I mess up. Because at if I die at any point in any one of these levels, before I rescue everybody, then I have to go back to the house where I just was. And so if you're doing a run and you die on one of these levels, it's basically a run killer. It's over. So if you're doing this game in a race, like we are for RGR, I would highly recommend on these levels, safe strats, because if you die and you screw it up, then you're probably going to lose that race, unless the other person does that too. So now I'm going to do this level. You'll see I'll kind of run through the top of the screen for most of the stage, and stop at some key points, but it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to land right there on that mole, come down on this one, and then jump back up again. Do this right here. And then actually, I was supposed to stay on the top of the screen for all of that, but you guys get the idea. Pretty easy. You can figure out your jumps, but those turtle shells won't hit you when they fall if you stay up at the top of the screen. I had to do a couple turnbacks there to not get hit there at the end, but you can stay up at the top of the screen the whole time. Now we're on to the next one. Okay, so on this one, this is where it starts to get a little bit risky. You'll land on these like flowers, and they generally will bloom kind of right as you get to them, as long as you don't stop holding right. And then you come down here, you can deboost through this armadillo. It's not really a deboost, but just take the damage. And then this part is not too hard. I usually take damage right there so I can land on that cactus and go. If you hit those cactuses, pretty good chance you're going to die. They take away a ton of health. And that's going to be relevant in the next stage as well. In seizure time. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to let Cocoron go away. And now we are going to come down and select the boat guy. And the reason why is because this is a water level. So jumping through those two cactuses at the beginning is actually probably the toughest part of this stage. I'm doing safe strats here a little bit. And you can actually not stop nearly as much as I did and just time your shots well. But that's how you get through it. So that's the only reason we created a boat guy, and we're never going to use boat guy ever again. So now we're just going to choose our normal dude again. And you definitely want the throwing stars here because you want a weapon that's going to shoot straight. And now we're in the fish zone, and if you ever played Panic Restaurant, you may recognize these fish. And we're going to stay up here on the top. Oh, look at that. I got a, I don't know, some sort of power-up. I think that might be a damage boost power-up. I'm not sure. And then you just jump up these things. Again, this is some pretty basic platforming, so I'm not going to do a whole lot. So lots of slopes in this stage, so they can kind of screw you up. So just be aware. And now we've got our last friend. And so now we're to Taper 1. And I think this is where I'm going to call this part of this tutorial. So now we're through all the rescue stages. And we're almost to the end of the game. But this is where I'll call part 6. And I'll see you guys in part 7.